Hi, ladies and gentlemen, it is time to get funky. How you doing? Hey, Posh Cat. Hey, Dean. Hey, Mr. Bojangles. I hope everybody is doing pretty well right now. I am doing extremely medium, but I am here, and that is what is important. Also, I think maybe this might be too loud. I'm going to turn it down. I'm going to keep it on for a second, though, because it's cheering me up. Like, funky... I'm not gonna lie, the funky playlist I've been using is getting me exactly where I need to be right now. Hey Matt, how you doing? It is Monday. That is correct. Yay! Oh, I hope everyone's had a good start. Funk's the way? Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, the funky playlist just uplifts my soul so much. Like, there are other songs and, like, playlists that would be more, like, relevant. Woo! Let's go. Fred coming in with a tier 3. I don't even know if you're my only tier 3, but if you are, I appreciate you. You may be. Actually, I think Siobhan might be a tier 3. We may have 2 of you. Thank you so much. That is incredibly kind and definitely adds a lot to the sub point total thing. That if I get more subs, I get more money and stuff. So that's fucking great too. Thank you very much. Obviously, no pressure, no expectation. Just nice. But yeah, back to your real account. Yeah. Get out. Oh, what you doing on Dead Fred? Dead Fred's old news, man. Dead who? It's deliver the food or deliver the Fred, depending on what platform you're on. We are beginning today's stream with an update. 3 drinks. We have this, a nice glass of water. And then we have this, a full pint of Baileys. No, I'm just kidding. It's iced coffee. I just, the bad news is I don't have any ice. It's 100,000 degrees and I have no ice. But the fan is on. I wish it was, can you imagine? No, if it was a pint of Baileys, I'd be a state. And then we have this, which unfortunately looks really boring, but it's actually a nice cold glass of just tonic water because I wanted something with flavor as well. Yeah, the issue that I have is that although in the great separating of items, I got the big AC because I have the bigger flat, and 2, the AC, the big one, some of it has to sit on the balcony, right? So we had like one of those standard AC systems that's like on wheels. And those are great, right? But it didn't do a good job of like cooling down the whole living room. It just was too small. You know, where you stick the hose out the window. The issue is now, right? I have this big fucking AC. Vodka, Baileys, and G&T. I'm not gonna lie, the mixture of that, the sheer curdling of those drinks, and the amount that I would be fucked within 10 to 15 minutes would not even be a joke. But yeah, so I have the big, powerful, juicy fucking AC, but the way that it works, it's a really cool one. The condenser is outside, right? So it actually does a lot of the cooling outside on the balcony. And then there's a hose that connects to the thing that blows out the cold water. Water? What am I, a fucking dolphin? The cold air, right? The Shamu show is real in my living room. The thing about that is that because the stream has now moved in here, I have to decide if it's worth cooling the whole living room to get the cold air to me. Do you know what I mean? So right now, I'm just, even though I have an AC, and it's like 30 fucking degrees or something, I don't know what temperature it is, it's hot, I'm just running the fan because I'm like, it's not worth it. It's not worth it, babe. You know? So it's annoying because Fred is sitting there with the AC blowing directly on his face, which I actually support highly. But like, that's the benefit of having like the in-room AC. But obviously, you can't get like with free electricity. That's the thing. I'm out here paying my bills, paying for electricity. Fred, I don't want to talk too much about Fred's living situation because it's not my living situation. But Fred gets rent, bills, everything included, and he's fucking running AC. Like, they think they're paying for him to, like, charge his phone. He's charging his fucking e-bike. He's charging his electricity. He's charging all of his shit. It's sick. 30p an hour adds up. I'm just telling you. Oh, fuck. What happened to my funk? Where's my playlist? Is it still funky? No, I can't even hear you. It's like one tit is about to fall out of this top. Get yourself in. Everybody remain seated. Jesus. Anyway. What was my point? My point is, I am just rocking the fan. Wrong side for that. I mean, honestly. Truly. Just stay where you put. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I was really feeling like dodging the stream today. Like, oh my god. I wanted to hide. But we're not doing that. We're here. And I'm gonna talk about all kinds of shit. And we're just gonna get cheap lecky. I don't have that. I don't have the nighttime cheaper electricity, daytime expensive electricity. It's all the same. Which is probably good anyway, because if I did have that, I mostly, like, probably one of the biggest power draws in this flat, other than maybe the air conditioner, which I use once a month, maybe. Like, I barely ever use it, is this streaming setup. And therefore, if I were paying extra during the daytime when I am streaming, it would be hella annoying. But I don't even think you can get that in like a big apartment block. In my personal opinion. I could be wrong, but I don't think you can. Or like it has to already be like programmed in. My room's the hottest place on earth. Yeah, no. I'm not complaining. My flat is cool in comparison. Your flat is fucking... Fred can't even keep plants alive on his windowsill. I had to introduce him to like succulents as desert plants because he was like buying like a regular plant for his windowsill and that hoe was getting fried. Like it was getting, the sun is a deadly laser. It was actually quite funny as well because with the AC that Fred has that I obviously used to own, or like used to be here, it was like the backup one, we weren't using it. And I kept being like, come and take the fucking AC. Let's see if this works.
Fred woke up, the sun itself rubbing its balls on his face. Spicy.
Oh yeah, baby. That's how you like it. But no, my flat is a lot cooler. It's not like cool, but it's cooler than yours, which is getting like the full clap of the sun's cheeks directly onto your face. So you really needed it. I was peer pressuring him to come and get it for ages. I was like, bitch, your shit is so, your shit is so hot. Come get the AC and put it on the Glastonbury trolley and roll it on down. So Glastonbury might be super fucking hot, which means that one of the things that I'm trying to organize right now is to get my little backpack that I'm going to be using throughout the day bedecked with everything I need. I'm going to need like easy access to water. I'm going to need, well, the thing is, I don't know if I showed you guys what tent I bought. I don't even know where I bought it. Where did I get the tent? Was it on Amazon? Sounds like where I bought a tent from. But the tent I bought, I have very, very strict tent rules for festival tents. And so the tent I bought fulfills all my rules and therefore is going to be a joy to festival in. So, right? No, it's not Temu. It's not Temu. I was looking around for fucking ages for a tent that wasn't like £9 billion. Yeah, literally. The thing is, I've not really been drinking recently. Like, when you're depressed and feeling low, drinking is an error in general. So, like, I've been saving drinking for, like, special occasions exclusively. Like, I sometimes go meet my friends at the pub and I don't even have a drink. And that's cringe as fuck. So, I am also aware that I can't go into the festival bam, bam, bam drinking. Because you're going to find me crisped up, dried out like a raisin-ass husk, on the streets, like on some fucking dusty Glastonbury path. So I've got to stay like organized. I need a little fan. I need hydration. I need a big fucking hat. I made a gigantic mistake. Hang on, I'll show you my tent in a second. I made a gigantic mistake in that I went to the shops because I was looking for a hat. We discussed this last time. Mo, look, I don't know how old you are. I used to be like that. Yeah, we're having a Menti B today. I'm gonna be screaming for chocolate. Chocolate? I don't really eat chocolate. Occasionally. So look, I don't know what chocolate has to do with anything, but it would melt anyway. I don't want chocolate in the heat. What the fuck am I doing in my life? Right, so here's the situation. I went, took some fucking astounding pictures of myself in TK Maxx, where I was trying on hats, and I found this hat that I was like, fuck yeah, but it looked ridiculous, but it was fucking gigantic. And then I was like, look, it's so big it doesn't even fit in the picture. I will show you. It's so big it doesn't even fit in the picture. And how the fuck am I getting this on the coach? Because this is the issue. Okay? But now it's so hot, I'm regretting not buying the Glastonbury mega hat. Alright, prepared to get rizzed up at a major level. By Glastonbury mega hat. But yeah, I didn't buy it. It was in TK Maxx. Look at the size of that bitch. She didn't even fit in the picture. Arm full extension, hat still sticking out the sides. Yeah, it's like some Billabong extravaganza. And do you know what? With that, no, I'm not overheating. With that, I'm not getting sunburnt. But can you imagine vlogging with that on your head? I can't. You're going back to TK Maxx tomorrow for that hat? I can't. Can you imagine the shame? Oh, Quicksilver. I don't even know the brand. But I think what I'm going to do is just go back to Glastonbury with only a simple baseball cap. Sad, gross, I know. And then upon arriving at Glastonbury, I'm going to go up to one of the vendors that sells hats, and I'm going to buy myself the obligatory Stetson for Glastonbury. I don't want a bucket hat. It just does not cover enough, right? But like, I'm good at the sun. I don't burn easily. I just also respect myself and my skin and so on. This is the other thing. Okay, now the benefit is I'm short as fuck. Well, no, not as fuck. I'm short, right? I'm 5'3.5". So like, most people are taller than me, even in a big hat, right? Baseball cap. No, the baseball cap is not very festively, but it is wearable. Like, it's packable, right? Like, this is what I'm saying. How are you packing that in a bag? You're not. 1, okay? 2, how are you getting that on the coach? You're not. Ridiculous. So I think what I'm going to do is go and buy a hat at the festival. Yeah, you flat pack it. With what? A hammer? You don't pack it in a bag, you take it on your head. Okay, look, this thing is as wide as my shoulders. You can see it's as wide as my shoulders, right? Imagine you get on the coach, you're traveling to Glastonbury, you've got your little bags, you've got your bits and bobs, you sit down next to a woman with a hat wider than her shoulders, and you go, how am I to sit down? And I say, unfortunately, coach, take the aisle seat, no issue, yeah, and then sit there at like this angle, hat sticking off. Your next festival tent? Oh my god. Okay, I'm just gonna start clicking on links. I don't know what the fuck's going on. Brilliant. I support that. Good for you. Fred's gonna be hosting an invasion, and I'm gonna show you guys my tent. Solar fan. Go. I can't. Okay, look. It's one thing to accept looking embarrassing. Okay, it really is. But it's another thing to vlog it. All right? It is. It's another thing to vlog it. How am I supposed to walk around? My god, how do we make picture shit big on... Okay, whatever. This isn't my address, so don't start doxing me. I don't know why I decided I live here, but whatever. What the fuck is going on here? I can't live like this. Imagine. The vlog begins. Everything I say, you go... As the sun comes through here, blinding me. Anyway. So we're gonna work that out. We're gonna get a hat. We're gonna get another hat. We're gonna get some. We're gonna buy the Stetson of dreams, and we're gonna live our lives, and it's gonna be good. And maybe I'll get a hat like this, not with a fucking fan in it, just a regular collapsible hat that I can like put in the bottom of my bag just in case my Stetson blows away or something. And when I say Stetson, I mean like made of hay. You know, one of those fucking hay looking hats. Anyway, Continuing updates. This is unimportant. I just want to show you somebody because nobody sees my balcony. Look, behold, my plants quiver in delight at the sheer wildness of my balcony. Look at all these flowers quivering. The bugs are loving it. I'm going to tell you that. Hell, we don't just have bugs, we also have predators. I saw a baby dragonfly. I was living my life. Anyway, so the hat thing is on the agenda. We will get to the bottom of it, but I am regretting not buying the mega hat. But then at the same time, I'm like, how are you getting it there? How are you getting the mega hat on the coach? You know? Yeah.
To be honest, the fans probably have all the power of a flatulent hamster unless the sun's out anyway. D.
Yeah. You're probably right, but then if the sun's not out, I don't care. You had a plant die on you once and I couldn't bring myself to get another. I felt irresponsible. I'm going to tell you right now that looking after plants, one, I know that, like, those were popping off and it looks cool. But, like, those I've just watered a lot. They're outside. They're not really... Whether they grew or not wasn't really my business. That was just what the seeds did. That being said, I have a lot of indoor plants, and I've killed a bunch of plants over the years. Plants still sometimes bite the dust. You know, if you eat plants, it's okay if a plant dies, you know? Maybe don't buy a really expensive plant. Maybe even take the opportunity to buy up those, like, slightly crusty, dusty ones. Like, rescue them from the shop and give them a go. And you'll get there, because the only way you learn is by doing. You're never going to be perfect at something first time. I suck at cactuses. I suck. They are way harder than people give them credit for. And the reason I say that is because a cactus, right, it needs a shit ton of light, otherwise it goes leggy. Sometimes they flower and die because that's just how they work, right? And then if they stay moist for like a quarter of a second longer than they want, they also die. So, like, whereas a lot of the plants that I have, these are hardy bitches. Bernicus, my fig tree, is a hard-ass motherfucker. Anything that is supposed to live, alright, in the... What's in between? Right. So we've got, like, rainforest, and then we've got, like, tundra. In the middle, we have Spain and stuff. Spain, Italy. That vibe. That dusty-ass area. No, but, like, because the tropics are wet. Above the tropics, the temperate zone, anything that's supposed to live there can handle whatever. Just don't overwater it. Okay? So a lot of the plants, like Mediterranean, tropical, exactly, right? Like, above the equator. So you've got, like, equator, and around the equator, you've got, like, rainforest, and you've got, like, tropical areas, places that get, like, tropical storms and stuff. And then way at the top, you've got fucking arboreal, fucking Russian ass, wet, cold bullshit England's in there. And then below that, you've got rocky and hot, as Scotty says. Those plants, as long as they don't get overwatered, tundra. Did I say tundra? I don't know. The point being, clearly Minecraft has not taught me enough about biomes. The point being, those plants are hard to kill because they're slow growing, which is sometimes boring. Okay, I can't read. I thought that was Fred again. And I was like, how many times can one man sub? Dean, thank you so much. 37 months, you rule. Also, Scotty, thank you for the bits. But, like, anywhere that's, like, any plant that's, like, yes, I'm flourishing in, like, Italy, or, like, I'm flourishing in Morocco. Those are dry fucking places, right? Yeah. No, not Lemon Party. Anyway, I've also got new emotes, so enjoy them. But a lot of indoor plants are... like this bitch. Hang on, this is just the closest plant to me. A lot of indoor plants are tropical plants, right? Much like a tropical fish. You know, a lot of your colourful fishes, they're tropical plant, right? These, they want to be wet. You killed the plant in Morocco? Wow, I was zoned in. Yeah, Morocco is a hard place to keep a plant alive. It's real hot. This bitch does not like direct sunlight, right? And you're like, what? It's from a hot place. Yes, but it's from a hot, wet place, and it's usually being covered and shaded by other trees. So it's not getting the full clap of the sun, okay? Whereas if you put this in the full blast, it's getting blasted. You know what I mean? And then it's gonna shrivel up and die. And frankly, of all my plants, this is probably the most depressed. I mean, look at this. What's going on down here? You got depression. You see that? These things happen. So hype train incoming. We're hyping the train. I don't even think anything happened, but I'm down. Okay. Chat, we have a hype train. I don't know why Twitch decided, but it's happening. So treat yourself. Anyway, the point being, I don't know where that came from. Nothing happened. Twitch was just like, no, it's a hype train. What is it? Like people talking counts now? I'm out here just telling people how not to kill their plants, and Twitch are like, now this is iconic. Now this is content. It's going up. It's going up. Ooh. So much. Mo, you rule. Thank you. I believe in your ability to keep plants alive. I do. It's difficult. All right, it is. It's hard to know exactly what they want, but you'll get there for the plant consulting. I appreciate you. I still need to fix that. That's on my list. Nothing good has happened this week, so nothing has been fixed. We're dealing with what we've got. But yeah, so plants. Think about where they're from. Think about what they want. Try and buy for that. Because like somebody else was like, my olive tree is thriving, whereas my olive tree got depression because it got rained on too much. Even though my balcony is like mostly covered, it was getting too much moisture. It got wet. It didn't like that. Then I bought it indoors for months and let it dry out. Didn't put a single bit of water on it.
And 100.
How do I adjust that? Okay, here's the other thing. Okay. Here's the other thing. I have basically forgotten how I did that. I did the thing where you work out how to do something, all right? I was like, brilliant, that works for the stream. And then my brain went, I'm done. I don't care anymore. And so now I'm like, well, what was I doing? StreamVOD, brilliant. I'll go into, yeah, and then everything keeps threatening me with updates and I'm stressed, all right? But anyway, we'll fix that. Every time somebody subs, we just get a nice piece of spam in the chat from the bot. So, yeah. This fan is not even blowing on me. Not to become hysterical. Where is it blowing? Oh, what? It's blowing back in Timbuktu. Hang on. Like, I'm so glad it's not just me. There are so many times where I, like, get so deep into something and I'm like, fantastic. I understand this on a good level. And then, like, a week later, I'm like, oh, yeah, I know all about that. Do I? I don't know if I do. And it's gone. And then I have to... But the thing is, once you find that first piece of information, it all comes flooding back. But I shouldn't have to... Why is it so difficult? This modern life requires you to know too many things. Back in the day, you could know one skill and just do it forever. Anyway. Oh yeah, I was going to show you guys my tent. Behold, my tent. This is how I'm going to survive Glastonbury. When it's going to be hot. This is my tent. It has the joys of a shady porch thing, right? Which is great for in the daytime. Look at this man. That's going to be me. Except without any of this equipment. And with 3 to 9 drinks. But we got this guy going. And also, the good thing about this is it has windows. What do you mean it's not photoshopped? What are you talking about? He's definitely really there, all right? Look at him. That's a real man. He's only got one leg, but he's living it up with that leg. Right. So, no, that plastic wheelie trolley would not make it to Glastonbury. The point being, this tent, so one of the many rules that I have about my tent, and one of the ones I will not compromise on, is it must have windows that are mesh. Because the sun comes up and you start cooking and everybody starts complaining because they only went to sleep 3 hours ago and now the sun's up and they're dead, right? 1 leg and 4 feet tall. Do not take the piss. True. He isn't shaded in the shade of the cover. I know. Because he doesn't care about such things. I don't know. He's got his own personal, he actually bought his TikTok shop ring light with him so that he can always have the right light and angles for himself. But yeah, so this tent, I can zip open the windows and the window at the back, get a big through breeze. And then the key is to be wearing the kind of pajamas that are revealing enough, like shorts and a t-shirt, that the air is touching you, but covering you enough that if people peer into your tent, they're not getting a free show. And also affordable, and also good in the rain, and also tall enough to almost stand up in. That's the situation. And that is what we achieved here with this 140 pound badass. So life's pretty good, because what you want to be able to do is put your trousers on without having to perform the worm on the floor.
To be fair, the entire front of the trolley we can see is just full of booze and he's well through it by now in the photo shoot lol.
You reckon? Do you reckon he's just on the piss? He probably is. But anyway, I'm very happy. It's also one of those fast ones that pops up. Yes. Loving that. Thrilled. People chasing Emily through the campsite. You owe me a tenner. Yeah, literally. I'm like, don't. Well, last year, we ended up camping next to a lot of people who were like essentially naked the whole time. And I was like, you know, don't bother me. You do your thing. But you already have the indignity of living in a tent. Then you don't want to add the indignity of like humiliating yourself with like lying there like a sweaty corpse, and then somebody looking through thinking it's like their mate's tent and being like, ooh, you know, like that's embarrassing. That being said, there was one day, and Sophie's told this story on stream before, so I'm allowed to tell you. There was one day where it was so diabolically hot last year. Sophie literally just lay there like fully tent naked and was like, if you look, that's your problem. And then I think she did basically flash someone. But that's your problem. Get your eyes out of my tent. If you don't want a full moon in the afternoon at top temperatures, you're just gonna have to deal with it. Matt gets it. But yeah, last year as well, I discovered the joy of a collapsible bucket wash, where you just fill your bucket with icy cold water, because that's what comes out the tap, and you have yourself a bar of soap and a cloth, and you just and swimwear, and you just say fuck it, you know. Sophie putting those. Yes, Sophie scared people. I loved that so much. So there was one day it was extremely hot. She was a bit sunburned. She was so over it. And so she got all of these wet wipes, put them in the cooler so that they were like soaked up loads of icy water, and then literally covered herself like head, neck, body in them. And then was like just sitting there like a mummy, right? Just fully covered, just cooling off. And so people were walking through and being like, oh, because she was also wearing like, she had like a face mask, like one of those sheet face masks on. So she had like a sheet mask, full body stuff. Yeah, she loved it. She was happy as a clam. But I will say she did scare the public. But like, as I said, you walk through my campsite, you see what you see, you know? And it was a really good idea. But yeah, if it's really hot, I'm probably going to need to get myself a little fan to fan myself with. And then it's all about shade. Yeah, she did look like a burn victim. People were like, oh. And yeah, the other thing as well is the most important thing when it is stupid hot is not getting overexposed. So like, it makes sense for English people who don't know how to handle real heat. It makes sense for them to say, brilliant, it's hot, I'm taking everything off, right? Which, like, I support your rights to take everything off. And they're walking around in like a strap top and like shorts, and they're getting sunburnt in every direction. Whereas if you've actually been somewhere that's like legitimately really hot, the key is loose covering, loose layers, right? Because the sun burning you makes everything so much worse. So like, that's why I'm looking for like big hat. I need like, I'm cool with like having my shoulders out, but generally you want like a shirt you can put over stuff so that when the sun is really coming down on you, you're like, I'm sorry, babe. Because you can cover yourself in as much suntan lotion as possible. You really can. But at the end of the day, you will sweat it off and you will be sticky and dusty. Whereas like when you're at somewhere like 40 degrees plus, which like doesn't really happen in the UK, but when you do go to those places, there's no point in suntan lotion, because the very first second that there is any humidity, it is slid off your body. I am going to record a Glastonbury video this year. It's part of the bag that I'm sort of building, because I think that's going to be one of my major challenges, is obviously usually it's me and Fred both vlogging. Obviously this year it's just me. And so I need to make sure that like I've got vlogging stuff, I've got things to cool down my camera when it's overheating, I've got water to keep myself hydrated, I've got something to sit on potentially, I've got some alcohol for fun, you know what I mean? Like, and then I need power. I got the mega battery of dreams, and then that's gonna last me a week, and then the hotter it is, the quicker the battery runs out. I don't do solar power, I just bring batteries that I like, the batteries to do me for the week, basically. But obviously that means I've got to like pack it and then like keep some stuff back in my tent, and then what I'm going to bring out with me, blah, blah, blah. I mean, fingers and toes crossed, if it's not too hot, then my phone should last most of the day, and then I can charge it up fully with the big battery back home. But we're going to have to see, because I've been looking at like nice bags and stuff, but this last month has been such a nightmare that I'm trying to just use what I have and make it work, rather than like buying a more appropriate bag and stuff like that, if that makes sense. Because it's all just money, and like Glastonbury's already expensive, not just like the tickets, but you know, you need to buy food, you need to buy drinks if you want to get them, you need to buy top-ups of things that you lose or whatever. Hey Cubit, how are you doing? That being said, I think this year there will be at least a moderate focus on, because so Glastonbury, the food is expensive, obviously, like you're in a field, but a lot of the food places do like a £5 option. So I think what I'm gonna do is try and go around as many of like and try as many of the cheap options, at least for like breakfast or lunch, because they tend to be smaller, but they're a lot cheaper. So if you go like cheap breakfast and lunch, and then like an expensive bigger dinner, you're covered, you know? I can recommend the Thai banana takeaway folk from the festivals I've been to this year. If I see them, I will try it. Like, there are some places that are there like every single year, and I know are generally good value for money. But like, I've been to enough festivals now, I know what to look out for. Who's the mystery headliner? I don't know, people keep saying it's Pulp. I'm not gonna lie, this year's lineup, I don't know. I'm actually really looking forward to it, because it means that I can kind of just actually... So the thing about Glastonbury that makes it fucking sick...
Lemony 35 spin.
Woo! Coming in with a tier 2. Thank you very much. You're an icon, and thank you for the 8 months. I appreciate you a lot. Thought it could be Oasis? No, fuck off. Here's the thing. If there is one thing I know about Oasis, it's that they fucking love attention. There is no way they have spent the last 25 years arguing with each other to... Like, they wanted to be in the news all the time. They love attention, right? And that... I'm English. I like fucking... I can't help it. I like Oasis. Like, not enough to pay money, but like, you know... I'd be hyped to see Oasis. It would be a badass time. That being said, I am confident that they would not. But yeah, last tour they'll do. I wouldn't be surprised if Oasis did next year's Glastonbury after they've rinsed all the money they can out of this tour, assuming that they like each other enough to get through it. Like, basically, Oasis are like, I'm here for the money. Last time Liam Gallagher was down there, he fell out of his helicopter and fucked his leg/foot up. I mean, honestly, fuck off with this helicopter shit. Glastonbury is a very left-wing, I mean, like, it's a bit lib. You know, it's not like... But there's communism there. You know, if you're looking, there's communists. They have a whole left field area. Twitch just broke. Stunning. But Blur and Oasis have had beef with each other since the dawn of time. Since I was a baby, they've had beef with each other. So yeah, like, I'm not gonna lie, turning up to this place that's like Greenpeace, community, that's why people love Glastonbury so much, is it's not about the acts. If you've been to Glastonbury, people fucking love the community and the like culture of it. That is not, like, that's why I don't care. When I saw who's headlining, I was like, okay, whatever. I get to actually go out more, right? Like, and see more stuff. Because that was the issue that I had with the last one I went to, which was the Elton John year. I wanted to see everybody. And it was fantastic. I saw some fucking amazing music. I saw so many bands I wanted to see. But that being said, it meant that I didn't get to go and explore and do other fun festival-y stuff because I was like, I'm locked in, you know? But Glastonbury's the only festival I really do book without knowing the lineup. But that being said, I'm happy to go to other festivals. I just love it. But yeah, we've got, what is going on here? Hang on, let's have a look. So we've got the 1975. Here's the thing. I don't know shit about the 1975. Every time I think I've not heard any of their songs, I then do hear a song and go, oh yeah, I've heard this. But like, I don't care. I remember What's-His-Face was dating Taylor Swift, and I don't care about her either, but like, just to be clear, that was one of the only things I knew about him. And then, what happened? My brain just fell out my head. Oh, if you've got good small artists you think I should check out on Friday, let me know. But like, I will be seeing Alanis Morissette, obviously, because like, duh. I've already seen Biffy Clyro. I had a good time. I like Biffy Clyro. I don't know. Who's TBA? I don't know. Everyone's saying it's Lady Gaga. I've never heard more cope in my life than the time that people thought Elton John was going to bring on Britney Spears. I do not know who Burning Spear is. I do like CMAT. I really like CMAT. But do I like Pulp? That's what I think. I think it's Pulp, right? Supergrass. What does Supergrass do? I confuse them and like many other similar bands. You know, the ones that are like, no, that's Blur. Stereophonic, Supergrass. Did you hear Britney Spears was spotted at Bristol Airport? Now, this is the day that I want to die. Okay, this is the pyramid stage. So this is like the big stage. So like, do I stay there all day? I don't know. If I'm gonna, I don't know. I don't know who Noah Khan is or who is that. But I, obviously, okay, so the thing is, I'm a millennial. So if the Libertines are there, I'm seated, right? Because every time I see the Libertines, I go, well, this could be the last time, so you've got to catch them. But I've seen them a couple of times already. Then we've got Rod Stewart. I want to sing Maggie May, you know? Then we've got Nile Rodgers and Chic. I have been in places that Nile Rodgers are so many times, and every time I missed him. So I need to see Nile Rodgers, okay? Then we got Olivia Rodrigo. I really like her. I don't know who this man is. Maybe that's dinner time. But like, then who else we got? Who the fuck is Loyal? Who's that? Apparently, he's not even Irish. How you got a name like Loyal and not be Irish? That's crazy. Anyway, but I do love Busta Rhymes. I do not care for Stacey Abrams. I do like Franz Ferdinand. I enjoy Wet Leg. I can't believe Ruzzle Kicks is still going, but shout out to them. Right now, this looks like a good fucking day. This looks like a good fucking day. Like, no, I like Wet Leg. I said I like Wet Leg, didn't I? I like Wet Leg. They're just not my favorite. Yeah, they moved Weezer up. They had Weezer in this like tiny tent, and it was literally giving me a seizure. I was like, everyone's gonna die in this tent, but they've changed it, so that's good. But like, I've heard only good things about Biba Doobie, despite her name being quite funny. We got Weezer of. I love Amel and the Sniffers. I think I've heard Ezra Collective Jazz. Afrobeat. Yes. Okay, I'm in. Stunning. Deftones, enjoy. Love Charlie. But then who do I see? Do I see Charlie? Do I see fucking Neil Young? Because I love Neil Young. The Prodigy. Ah, it's gonna be sick. Although I do get to be like, I already saw The Prodigy. Also like Snow Patrol. Imagine hearing If I Lay Here live. To see Neil Young, right? And he's old, but my friends are disrespecting him. Because I love Neil Young. then I'm stressed. Okay. Also, apparently, I don't think the lineup's good, but now I'm looking at it. There's so many people I want to see. I'm out of control. But like, this all means I'm going to miss Dochi, and I'm going to be there for Bob Villain and Kneecap. This is going to be insane. Both these bands should probably be on the pyramid. Like, truly. I don't know who the fuck did this. This is going to be, like, West Holtz is not a small stage, but it's also not that big. And yeah, I'm going to get murdered. Who else? I love Pink Pantheress. No one cares. I'm going to be there on my own. All my friends, because we're old, want to see Scissor Sisters. And I love Scissor Sisters. And they're doing their first album in its entirety. But, like, am I going to miss Charlie for Scissor Sisters? But I might get steamrolled by, like, 900 twinks. And that's just my own problem. Who's sorry? Why have they got no description? They're trying to censor Kneecap? Honestly, fuck that. That feels like when the BBC were telling... Hang on, every brain cell just fell out my head. When the BBC were telling Rage Against the Machine not to sing "Fuck You, I don't do what you tell me. I won't do what you tell me." Is this... Who's Dojo? It's that guy. The, when I'm back in Chicago, I feel it. That would be fun. I like that one. I think I also like Black Country New Road, but I could be wrong. I know St. Vincent. Very good. AJ Tracy, live and direct. They're just, honestly, at this point, this lineup is for the elderly, i.e. me. Oh, no, it's not just you. I've just got my camera in the wrong place. Hang on. Squinting angrily at button. Go work. Just work. Okay, that's way better. Sorry, my fault. Streamer incompetence. You know, the classic. But yeah, so there are, and like Girl in Red, that's where I find my new wife. You know? Just go there, look sad, pick yourself up a lesbian. The Who Wants a Sunday Night Lesbian? No one is fresh by that juncture. So I don't know. And then you've still got Avalon and Acoustic and fucking Left Field. Somebody really cool was playing Left Field as well. Yeah, Saturday night, also Kate Nash. I want to see Kate Nash. How is it that every single Saturday night headliner I want to see? I want to see Kate Nash. I want to see Scissor Sisters. I want to see Charlie. I want to see Neil Young. I want to see Dochi. Death. Yeah, but that's the problem, right? Is that, well, one, are you English? Because a lot of the ones that I'm saying are for millennials are also English as hell, or British, or in our vicinity. TBA acts on Friday at the Pyramid as well. Yeah, and people are saying it's the return of Lewis Capaldi, which like means everyone's gonna want to cry, but yeah, British, yeah, British, not British. Reverend and the Makers. Are they the ones that did, like, I could have been a contender, I could have been a someone? Fucking love that song. And if they're, maybe I'll just go to Left Field. Ah, and the Meths? To be clear, that is Meths, not Meths. I'm not just being too British. I don't know. I don't know where I'm going to be, but I am going to be vlogging it. Also, I'm kind of dreading it. Okay, this is an issue. And that I only realized yesterday. Last time Fred and I went to Glastonbury, we were stopped roughly 900 times by people who were like, oh my God, I love your vlogs. I watch your vlogs from Glastonbury every year. We started coming to the festival because you made vlogs. Now, I am hoping it was the existence of two of us together that they were recognizing, right? They saw like two shortish white people and they went, hang on. These are the people. If people are stopping me and being like, oh, where's the man? Do I just make up lies? He's injured. Deathly ill. He's got dysentery. Like, what do I say? He died. I don't know. Everything is filling me with dread, but we're just doing what we can. as my therapist has told me, sometimes anxiety and dread are just excitement that your body doesn't know how to process, right? So you're like, I'm excited and nervous, and then your body is like, brilliant. That means you're scared, even though you're not necessarily. So he's in a sailboat. He's in a boat sailing to Palestine. Fuck yeah, that's a badass way. Only I can see him. Yeah. Elton cameo at Brandi Carlile. Elton doesn't cameo. Elton doesn't leave his house unless he is so sure he wants to leave. Elton brings people to him. The only way that we are getting an Elton cameo is if we just get a pre-recorded thing that he did in his living room. Like, I saw, God, what's that awful British people? Okay. There are some British YouTubers who do, like, God bless sausage roll or something. I don't know. They do some, like, charity thing with the sausage roll every year. And they got Elton John and Ed Sheeran on it. And they got Ed Sheeran in real life. And Elton was like, you're getting me on Zoom. That's it. Like, Elton does not show up. And I support that. Lad baby. Oh! Absolute cruelty. This is why I can't leave London. There are and like, don't tell me if they're from London. I can't deal with that right now. There are just so many things about British culture that make me want to die. Tis the case. And I know, like, many parts of the UK are not Lad Baby-esque. But the issue is, I have to get through that area to, like, get to other interesting places. Do you know what I mean? Like, you've got to get past, like, all of the new builds. Where, like, everyone, like, you've got, like, couples wearing, like, matching co-ord outfits and, like, all driving the same car. You know, in, like, a house that was built on, like, ex-swampland, so it's sinking the whole time. You know, it just stresses me out. You have to be English to understand what I mean, but, like, just follow me on this. Yeah, and I don't mean, like, chaps. That's not what I mean. I mean, like, she's got lip filler, he's got... And, like, not just, like... I mean, look, get filler, right? If you want, that's fine. But, like, she's got, like, big lip filler. She's got a little lip filler moustache. He's got a tattoo that is like a clock being eaten by a lion in black and grey realism, and that's the only tattoo he's got, but it's huge. The people on the reality TV shows, yes. And they've got like 2 kids, and the kids are called like Bentley and something, you know? Elton toured with Brandi and had her on his tour. No, like, I'm not saying Elton and Brandi Carlile would not tour together. I'm just saying Elton doesn't show up to shit unannounced. You know? Elton is not leaving his room unless he really wants to. And he did Glastonbury, so he's not coming back. And I can tell you that he did Glastonbury, right? And he left the stage, and it was one of the most transcendent experiences I've ever had. It was fucking amazing. And as we were all still applauding, I saw him fly off, to be clear, in a helicopter. He didn't just take to the skies. The kids are Kendall and Winthrop. Oh my god, that's a name. And, like, they hate each other. I just can't. You know? And they go on holiday to Dubai. Ugh. No, once you headline, you're not doing a bit part. He just started flapping his arms and he went away. Also, somebody has pointed out, like, Elton is in generally very bad health. Like, his tour kept being delayed because he was having some really bad health issues. Now he said he's essentially blind. When we saw him at Glastonbury... like he didn't really move from his piano, and when he did move, he was stiff as a board, right? Because you know what, he's old, and that is what happens. Just one kid, Kendall Winthrop. When mum and dad can't compromise on a name. Oh god, that's funny. But yeah, so like there's just a lot of that's just not for me. But anyway, yeah, I will be vlogging the whole thing. I will let you know how it goes. I am really gonna enjoy myself. It's the first time I've ever gone on the coach. I have no idea what that is gonna be like. I literally do not know what to expect in any of this. So we're just gonna see. It's Glastonbury, anything can happen. Literally anything can happen. So we're just gonna have to see. But I am insistent that I'm gonna have fun. I'm determined. I am stubborn in this fact. I will have fun. I'm not gonna lie, like the whole time I have been like lightly dreading it. But then at the same time, I'm like, you've never had a bad time at Glastonbury. You are not gonna have a bad time now. The weather prediction is hot. Hot. Real hot. I'm pretty sure. Or like it is now, basically. Like 25 to more than that. Yeah, so I don't know. I'm looking. Okay, just to give you perspective of like what the fuck is happening weather-wise in London right now. Hot, 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 hot. No clouds, big heat, which is why you need to bring big hat. Big heat, big hat. Rumors were Ed Sheeran. I would rather get a live on stage bikini wax. I do not care for Ed Sheeran. I do not care for him. And I support him in his right to do a set, but as long as I'm somewhere else, I'm cool with it. I've managed to dodge him basically my whole life. Which stage will be that? That'll be on the waxing. I said rather, okay? I'm pretty sure that the circus tent, you could get away with it. In fact, I'm certain. I've seen some things happen in the circus tent that I thought, wow, usually you'd be paying good money to watch this on the internet. Like, I've seen a man get his balls electrocuted a lot. And I was like, this is just somebody's kink. Unfortunately, it wasn't my kink. So, like, I didn't feel like I was getting my value for money. But it was happening. Yeah, I tried to get a boba tea. The queue was too long. The queue was too long. I didn't get one. It's been literally tragic. So yeah, for those of you who were like, where the fuck have you been? I just wanted to give you like a generalized update because if Ed does make an appearance, I expect to see you vlog in the circus tent. It was actually really funny. It was like one of the only things I actually couldn't show was that circus show. I think we were just like, we saw a show and like discussed how insane it was, but we didn't go like, yeah, this is actually what happened because like I couldn't show any of it. There was somebody like had like metal on their groin and then they were like chiseling at it. It was a lot. It was pretty crazy. Look, ooh, no one was alive on stage bikini wax. That is not hot. That is not good. Filth happened. It was a lot. Oh, Sticky Vicky died. Get some respect. What did Sticky Vicky do? Was it like a ping pong show? Like, what was the vibe? I've never been to Benidorm, so, and I don't think, didn't her daughter take over or something? Hi, how you doing? Can I call you 20 Deep? Are we cool with that? I never know what to call which bit of your name to pick out. But yeah, so yeah. What I want to know about a ping pong show is like, can anyone with a vagina do that? Or is it like a skill? Because I've never tried for good reason. Is that just, you know, is it like some people can do it and some people can't? And like, if Sticky Vicky's dead, how old was she when she was doing it? I don't want to try. I don't have any ping pong balls. Also, imagine having to go into the hospital. I've lost a ping pong ball. Like, it wasn't for pleasure. I just wanted to see if I could. Yeah, like juggling, it takes practice. No one's getting ping pong balls. Calls you Deep or SR. Okay, cool. Sweet. I'll pick one of those. If she's dead and passed the business to her daughter, how the fuck does that happen? I mean, people want to see that show. You want to do the show? Bish bash bosh. I bet you they probably swapped in and out anyway. Probably like daughter took on days. Like they're not going to be on every day, are they? No, of course they've seen or heard worse. Like, of course they have. It's more that, like, that would be really embarrassing and unfun, and also mean that I would have to spend even more time at the hospital, which has been fun because I already had to go to the hospital this week, and we're not doing any more fucking hospital. That's how the new millennium was welcomed in on Channel 4. Do you remember when Channel 4 was good? When they were popping fucking, yeah. That's what I want to see, all right? Back in the day, when I was like 9, I got corrupted by Channel 4. Now, it's just like, poor people. Are they all cunts? Boring. Yeah, so basically, for those of you guys who, like, didn't see, it's one of the reasons that I didn't stream on Friday, and I've just been, like, didn't stream this weekend, and it's all been, like, really fucked up in general, was that, Fred over on, Poor People Are All What? I'm talking about Channel 4, not myself. I don't know if you get the impression I'm not poor people, but, yeah. What I'm saying is, back in the day, Channel 4 was all like, I was like 9, and I saw a woman playing a flute with her vagina. That, I thought was impressive and cool, okay? Whereas, now it's all like Benefit Street. And I'm like, leave them alone. Give them some money and shut up. Literally, Eurotrash. Yeah. You know, this woman's got 3 tits. All of that kind of vibe. And you're like, oh, damn. That was when shit was good. You know? Like, it was at least interesting, you know? Sexcetera was a thing. And they'd be like, oh, this is what being a pony boy is. Oh. Here I am, 13, going, well, evidently that one's not for me. But it let me know the world had many options. Whereas now, it's all like, poor people, are they evil? And I think that's disappointing. I married my car. You know, that's interesting. The Outsiders. I don't think I've seen The Outsiders. What's The Outsiders? Hang on, I'm gonna Google it. Weird assumed European people. Yeah, and like they were all European in a way that we understand what European is. But like at no point could you put a specific nation on them. You're like, what is this? Like Czech, German, Swiss, Austrian, Hungarian? Like, I don't know where the fuck those people were from, but like you knew it was like Europe. But like in that way that you're like, what accent is that? Why is your English perfect, but you have like a style of speaking that like no one else in the world has? Where did this come from? The red triangle meant you were gonna get some tits on screen. You're just there, locked in, waiting. Could have been anywhere in Europe, but equally they could have all been in Berlin. Yes. They don't know what running a train means? Wow. Wow. The puritanicalness. They were clearly not. Yeah, they were not on Channel 4 at 9. Look, the thing is, my family are Italian, and therefore, there is a lot more like openness about sex and sexuality, and it's something that people like to talk about a lot more in that culture than like over here. And then over here, we get affected by Americans who like talk about it even less. And now suddenly we've got people being like, do you think there should ever be sex scenes in films? And Jubilingo, are you doing yourself? What the fuck? Did you hear that? That was literally what does that mean? Okay, cool. Well, Italian, trying to learn, failing, you know, the standard. I really want to pay to get an Italian tutor and actually learn properly, but like, I can't afford it, so I'm instead using a useless app. It heard I'm Italian, yeah, it locked in. Yeah, literally, like, oh my god, heaven forbid I see 2 hot people kiss each other, like, yeah, I know my phone's listening. Sometimes I rely on it. Sometimes I'm like, God, I really wish I could find an affordable blah and then just wait for an advert to pop up for me, you know? But yeah, phones. But yeah, so it's been a really shitty week. I was trying, like, after the whole thing with the mods, not all of them, but some, that I made a video about last week, I was, like, really trying to go into this week with a better vibe. And, like, I'm not gonna lie, it's really difficult because I kind of feel like right now, I don't know exactly what I want to do in terms of content. And then, at the same time, I always feel like I'm, like, letting everybody down. Do you know what I mean? Like, I need to do more and I need to do better, but I don't know what I want to do and I don't know what people want to see. And there's a lot of, like, that going on. Your phone's Chinese? The guy in Beijing must be bored as fuck. Yo, that's a hell of a cast. Show about rich people who bought a village somewhere and are turning it into a luxury holiday resort. And the show should be about exploding those people. What the fuck do you mean you bought a village and you're turning it into a luxury holiday resort? Ooh. Gross. Shame. Hate. Nasty. Like, we shouldn't be putting that on TV. That's fucked. Genuinely, that's so offensive. You just buy up a village. That place has got history. People live there. It's fine. Come and come, Mother's Rage. What do we say, Florence? Workers of the world, what? Unite! Yes! They're just using the show to help fund their village. But if the village is now a holiday home village, like, what? Do you know what I mean? Like, how is that helping the village? You know what I mean? But yeah, it's just bullshit. Rich people shouldn't be able to come in and buy up a village. That's fucked. But yeah, no, so, I don't know. I'm definitely just trying to be like, yeah, it helps the rich people. Yeah, it doesn't help anybody else. Like, what? Who gives you the right to buy the damn village? It's just crazy to me. But yeah, so like, I think I've just been really getting in my head, and like, with all the stuff that like the mods kind of said, I've been really getting in my head about like the quality of content that I'm providing, if it's any good, like, am I, like, what do I want to do if people who I thought were like major parts of the community don't like me, blah, you know what I mean? And it's just been like slowing me down, because I think that there is nothing worse when you're trying to be creative than like second guessing yourself the whole time. And I don't want to do that. I want to enjoy myself and have fun and like have us have fun and try out new stuff, you know? If you saw the bricks are in one area. Yeah, but like, I don't even want to be rude. Have you not seen some of those towns in like, I mean, this probably happens a lot in the Isle of Wight as well. But some of those towns in Cornwall that like during the summer have 20,000 people and during the winter have 2,000. Like, that's messed up. There are parts of the country that like basically don't exist because people don't actually live there. They just buy second homes or they just rent places. No. So, parts of Greece are like that. Yeah, absolutely. There's been so much protesting from different parts of Europe where people are like, we are being over-touristed. Like, the tourism is too much. Which I think is totally fair. And like, I don't blame people for wanting to try new cultures and go to new places and have new experiences. Like, that's great. But it is up to those places' governments to protect the place, right? So like, buying a village and then creating an environment where the people who lived there are now basically just fodder for tourists to look at. Yeah, fuck Airbnb. Honestly, fuck Airbnb. There is like a rare occasion where Airbnb is actually a better choice than a hotel. Like, if you're trying to rent for a specifically large group of people, or like you've got a bunch of kids with you or something and you need certain amenities, but most of the time it is just better for everyone to get a hotel. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, even like because like I love Cornwall. Cornwall's gorgeous. When I was 16 and I finished my GCSEs, me and all my friends went to Newquay, or maybe I was 15. And Newquay is a part of Cornwall. And we all went and we just bought loads of alcohol and we're just drinking illegally and just doing whatever the fuck. And like, admittedly, it was all pretty much just happening on this dodgy fucking campsite. But that being said, it's definitely not a good reputation for the town that every now and again, loads of kids go down there and get absolutely trashed. That being said, I had a great time and I wouldn't want to undo it. But I can definitely see why, if you're from there, for those few weeks, you're like, I don't want 15-year-olds throwing up in my front garden right now. Like, I don't want the beaches covered in people's fucking Lambrini corks, you know? But obviously we thought we were being cool. Yeah, and then I saw a really messed up article being like how all of this stuff has like backfired. All of these protests in Spain have backfired by basically British people have booked even more holidays there. And so they were kind of like, ha ha ha, the Brits win. And I was like, guys, that sucks. This isn't they're not saying, I specifically hate you. They're saying, I can't go anywhere in my town because everything is built for tourists. All of the houses are quadruple the price that they should be. And like no actual local businesses are getting the chance to function. And instead, everyone's like, Brits win again. And I'm like, guys, there are ways of doing tourism. But like, I think that these places' governments have more responsibility. But like, there are ways of doing tourism that aren't that bad. Yeah, and then they're like screaming about Brexit. And it's like, people don't generally hate all tourism. But I can imagine, like, I live in London. There's obviously a lot of tourists here, right? I think that's why all the 15-year-olds went there. Like, but a lot of Cornwall is a dump. It's got some of the most amazing, beautiful, natural, like, coasts and things. It's absolutely incredible. But a lot of the actual towns are a complete dump because there is no money, there is no infrastructure, there is no way to get around, there is no anything. There's just Londoners and like other rich English people coming in, building houses on the coast, buying up houses, and then leaving. And it sucks. Can't get housing for the temp workers in tourism because of Airbnb, literally. And that whole thing's crazy. But yeah, like if you look up Newquay, like this is all the coast and it's so stunning. But if you are actually from there, it's fucking dilapidated as hell. And that's really sad. You know? And like the people in Newquay deserve better, in my opinion. But yeah, so I don't know. I'm trying to like get my head around everything, and this week has been so wild anyway, like in just terms of like real life stuff. It feels like every single time I open my phone, I'm just like, what is going on? Like, what is going on? You know? Like none of it's a shock, but it is all generally bad. I mean, obviously everything going on with Trump being a complete lunatic. He had his flop ass parade. That was horrifically embarrassing. And then like America's protesting everywhere, which is awesome. But like, obviously kind of, you know, there's a lot going on there. And then you've got fucking Israel bombing Iran for some fucking reason because apparently they can't just do war on like 6 fronts. They've got to decide to pick a new one. And like, it's a lot, you know? And yeah. And then everyone's sitting around just being assholes. Yeah. And that's the thing, is like back in the day, I think no one even talked about the downsides of like having a holiday home, but it was just sold as being so aspirational. And now it's like, is that no, it's not aspirational, it's bad. Like, what is the harm? If you want to go and stay somewhere for a while, sure. Why the fuck do you need to own a house there? You know what I mean? And it's just, it's like everywhere is getting the Hawaii experience, where like anyone who's actually from this nice area gets pushed further and further away from any aspects of it that are actually really nice, you know? And they're being kept like out on the edges while everybody else just buys up all the good bits. And rather than being like thankful they get to experience it, they're like, they want to just take everything they can, you know? And I just feel like we know better now, you know? We know better, and there is no harm in like going on holiday and enjoying yourself and having experiences and meeting new people, but you can do it in a way that isn't harmful. But like none of these places, it's the same way that like landlords just suck everyone's money out and provide nothing and just increase the cost of houses. And then because all of our elected government officials are landlords, nothing's done about it, you know? There's a place it is crazy. Like the fact even that like if you want to go on holiday in the UK, it's not even affordable anymore. It's crazy. Have you still got your flat? Yeah. This one. Like the one but I rent this flat. Timeshares back in the 80s, what people wanted to do. Yeah, and that was the thing, was the timeshares were largely a massive rip-off. So people are like, well, why would I do a timeshare? I'll just buy a place. And now we're like, oh, that was generally a bad thing to do. And instead of those things being like gradually dismantled, it's just like more and more. It's the same way that like there were all these shows back in the day, and probably still are, I don't know, I don't watch TV anymore, but there were all those TV shows about people buying old clapped out houses and flipping them. And when I was like a teenager, I was like, oh yeah, no, like the studio flat. I still have the studio flat. Well, Fred and I both do. But it's just like basically one room, a bathroom, and a kitchen. So my friend's living in that. But yeah. But then I rent this place. But we couldn't, basically, Fred and I had it, and we were thinking about moving, and then Sophie, my sister, needed somewhere to live, so we rented somewhere bigger. Yeah, so... £900 a month is incredibly cheap, though. Shout out to that. But yeah, so it sucks. It all really, 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 really sucks. And it's the thing about like cost of living and cost of everything going so crazy. And it's like, you know what? If we didn't allow people to just be as greedy as possible, it doesn't have to be like that, you know? Well, that's the interesting thing as well, right? So like back in the day, there were a lot of shows where, you know, like grandma died in this house that hasn't been done up since the 60s. Okay, great. And then you'd have an interesting show about somebody going, great, I'm going to do this house up and then I'm going to try and sell it and make a profit. And they would sell it and make a profit, and people go, oh, that looks really easy. And so then everyone starts doing it, and everyone starts getting those buy-to-let mortgages that you can't have if you're going to live in the property, but you get really good rates on if you don't. So then everyone's just suddenly buying a property, renting that property, using the value of that to buy the next one, buying like 50 properties, and then being like, see, no problem. And then anyone who actually needs to live somewhere, they can't afford it. Well, it depends where you're looking as well, Scotty. Because if it was cheap enough, or if the place is up and coming enough, people are desperate. Like, all my friends are in their 30s. I have one friend who has a child. Where's anyone going to put them? There's nowhere to keep them. People aren't, like, it just creates this ridiculous situation where, like, you can't have a child that goes to a school and then need to move every year. Or, like, if you lose your job, you've got nowhere to live. Where are you going to put the kid, you know? So there's no, like, consideration for the realities of, like, people who need to live somewhere, right? I get it, right? You've got a bunch of properties, you make some income, you don't want to keep working, like, all the time. You want to get this income to, like, allow yourself to retire or whatever. Okay, fine, I understand that. But you can't do that at the expense of every future generation. It's unreasonable. The same with, like, I want my holiday home. I deserve to relax. It stresses me out having to look for somewhere, so I'm just going to buy a place because it's cheap anyway, and I'm just going to leave it empty most of the year. But like, you've sucked the life out of a town. You don't just get to do that because you've got money, you know? That's fucked up. And then those same people are like, we need stricter rules about drugs. People are taking too many drugs. They're being antisocial. And it's like, you try living in these places where like, there are no jobs. You can't afford to leave. The schools fucking suck. You can't afford to buy a place. So you're just renting a room in a village that you've grown up in. Like, tell me you wouldn't end up taking drugs, because you probably would. Because you'd be bored off your fucking box. And that's the thing, is like, I just don't think people have enough appreciation for like what's going on around each other. And like, that's why we need community in and amongst each other that isn't based around like stuff that costs money. You know what I mean? You need community to realize that all the people around you are very much like you and deserve to be treated with respect, you know? But evidently that does not get profit, so we don't do it. Which I think is really disappointing and sad and not good. But yeah, I don't know. Oh yeah, I did something. I was actually I meant to do this earlier and I forgot. Let me run a test and see if this is fun or not. Sometimes I'm sitting here and I want to talk about stuff. I still feel like I want a distraction. Hang on. Actually, I'm going to pee and then I'm going to show you guys. I'll be back in 1 second. Enjoy the funk. In fact, I'll turn it up for you a bit so you can... The song is called Maybe I Need Another Vacation. My phone on the floor. We survived. I'm here for the porn music. Is this giving... This is like an age test. If this music's giving porn to you, I feel like you're kind of old. Should I change it? Should I change it to something else? Because like, I've just been enjoying the funk. It's been getting me through it. This is Sex Bass. This song is called Can You Please Hand Me a Beer? Maybe they should change it to Can You Please Hand Me a Penis? Or maybe titties. I want to write to them, see if I can get them to change it. I'm sure they'll be down. But yeah, we can. This is a little bit sexy though. It's given a little bit of like, oh yeah. We can pick a new genre. A towel? A towel? Don't. I keep getting this guy advertising his sex towel at me on TikTok, and I'm like, leave me alone. And he's like, you can absorb so much fluid. What have I done to deserve this? Leave me in peace. Like this man, and he's like, oh, on one side's soft and the other side's like this, and it's machine washable. And I'm like, need this. Yeah. A what towel? It's it's like a sex blanket. Don't let me look it up. Okay. But like, it's like a blanket. It's like double-sided. You can fucking do whatever you want on it. I'm like, what? Now I've said it, my phone's gonna send it to me. No, I can't look that up. Don't. Unless you want one. I mean, but they're like, oh, you can, you know, like tampon adverts, you know, not tampon, like, pad adverts where they're throwing blue liquid everywhere. It's like that. But this man's literally like, oh, my wife gave birth on this. And I'm like, I don't deserve this. I'm leaving the internet now, forever. Like, yeah. I'm trying to pick a new genre for us to listen to, and you guys are fucking me up. What do you want? What genre do you want? We got pop, we got jazz, we got electronic, we got hip hop, we got funk. That's where we're currently at. I've never done such a thing. We got country, in brackets, please no, yeehaw. We have rock, we have classical, we have R&B, we have soul, that's another one I go to quite a lot. We have disco, I've also played a fair bit of that. And then we have acoustic. This isn't funk, this is porn. Yeehaw! Country. Look, I'm happy to stay in funk if you guys are happy staying in funk. But, to be honest, we could do something else as well. Do you know what I'm saying? Do you know what I mean? We could also go by mood. Also, what the fuck is this? Hang on. Alright, so we got happy, smiley face, dreamy, it's dreamy. Epic. Okay, laid back, cool. What the fuck is suspense? They couldn't think of anything suspenseful, so they just got a picture of an eagle. We're not listening to country, right? That's it. The option to choose the music has been removed from you. That's your bad, all right? Oh yeah. What, epic is a guy on a bike? He's on a motorbike. He's an astronaut on a motorbike. That is epic. Like, if you don't know what, like, if you don't think a man in full astronaut gear riding a motorbike is epic, I think you're just, like, difficult to please. I feel like euphoric should at least be like a pill or something. Like, what's this square? Quirky, I get it. Sad, the dog's sad. Sentimental, it's the past. Mysterious. I mean, mysterious is hard to comprehend, I guess. Or hard to quantify. This doesn't look relaxing, though. This looks like one of those holidays in the 70s where it's like blowing a gale the entire time, but you've used your entire, like, year's holiday on it, so you have to go and sit on the beach in Bognor and get fucking battered by the wind. Or at least that's what it's saying to me. Who's this eagle? This funky little eagle. I like it. Funky. But yeah, I actually did something, and I think I'm gonna try it with maybe vampire science. And the beach is all rocks, and they're still eating sandwiches they packed from when they left home like 4 days ago, and they're made with paste, and no one has swimwear yet, so everyone's just rolling up their capris to like get into the icy water. Salmon and sand sandwich, exactly. Okay, so I actually came up with a little thing, which I'm thinking I might do sometimes in just chatting. I'm interested in your thoughts, but it feels good to me. And as a streamer, it's kind of my job to do whatever the fuck I want. Woohoo! But, okay. Wait, wrong way. What if sometimes we just chat and I have a little game? Like, we do it like TikTok. You know when they've got, like, Subway Surfer? What if I'm just rocking it Subway Surfer style? And we get, like, because, like, I could be, like, talking about stuff with you guys and then just, like, running around in a game. I'm going to try it. And we're going to see if it's a disaster or not. Because it might be a disaster, but it might not. Shared big bottle of fizzy that was just full of crumbs and spit. That's disgusting. Ooh! You've given me the ick. But, like, also true. Like, you're right, but never talk about it again. I don't know which character to pick. I might just go complete. Can I go random? How do you say pick for me? I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. I can't be deciding stuff. Picnic on the beach with the family. Literally. Who the hell is Eleanor? Receives a spell stream. I don't even know what that is. Gains a cooldown. Okay, we'll just try this one. Hi, Hannah. How are you doing? I don't know. Oh, this Castlevania one keeps kicking my ass. I'll just do a bit of this while I talk. There must be a way of just being like, I would like complete randomness. But yeah, let's see how this goes. Anyway. Yeah, so how was everybody's weekend? Because I'm not... What in the tentacle is that? I'm not gonna lie. Mine was trash. I was supposed to go to a friend's birthday. This tentacle is tentacling in the wrong direction. I was supposed to go to a friend's birthday and, like, go to a barbecue. But I don't know how many of you were in Fred's last stream. His Deliver the Food stream, not his Dead Fred stream. But it kind of ended in chaos. Because... You went to see Pulp? I heard they were amazing. I heard they were actually so good. And I would like to see them if they play... If they are a secret set of Glastonbury, I would like to see them. Cats, Javelin. We'll go with that. But yeah, so... I was watching Fred stream and doing some work, and Twitch was super broken. I don't know how many of you saw that. So... Basically, I've been trying to help Fred, and like he's been getting everything set up to do these like food delivery streams, and they've been really fun, and I've been enjoying them. And I was talking about how like I felt nicer about watching those than on the Dead Fred channel, because like that always felt a little bit depressing to me, whereas this feels more like fun and new and exciting. So yeah, I'm like watching Fred doing deliveries. It's starting to rain, and he's like, oh, I think this is gonna be my last delivery. Well, he was like picked his stuff up, went round the corner on his bike, immediately basically aquaplanes, falls on his face, and I was like, oh my god. Everyone was like freaking out, being like, are you okay? Right? Except he is obviously like shaken up, because like as you are when you fall off a bike, right? Except he is then like, oh, actually, I'm not okay. I've like bashed myself up a bit, and I've knocked my tooth out. And now, conveniently, this was like in Kingston, like in the town that we both live. So I like heard that and fucking ran out of the house, because obviously, you know, he's like on the side of the road in the rain, missing a tooth. And so luckily he basically ended the stream and like hopped on his bike and then came... Fucking tentacle thing is really annoying. Oh. Yeah, so he hopped on his bike and like basically came towards my flat, which was good. And thankfully, yeah, no, that guy, I'm going to go in and like thank them. They do the first aid kit. So yeah, thankfully it wasn't actually knocked out. It was broken, which is way better, because obviously if you knock a tooth out, you have a very limited amount of time where the tooth is still viable to be put back. And then after that, like the tooth is dead, right? So I was extremely relieved when I saw him, and I was like, oh, thank God. It's actually broken. Like, quite high up, but it's broken, but it's not knocked out. And I think, like, seeing that was a real shock, because obviously, like, we might have broken up, but obviously we still care about each other, and, like, I don't want to see him getting hurt. And I was really scared for a minute that he'd been, like, run over or something, because on the stream, you just suddenly see like him go, oh god, and then he's on the floor. And it was really scary and shit. So thankfully, because it was broken, I didn't have to like rush him to an emergency dentist's. But we did, so I took like brought him in, helped him like calm down and like cool off and stuff. And then we had to go to A&E. And the queue at A&E was insane. Like, they said to us, it could be like 6 hours until anybody sees you. So we ended up just like getting like, he got looked over, like checked for like head injuries and stuff. He was definitely in shock. He handled it really well. I've got some footage which I'm not going to share, but I took just in case he needed to show what had happened, of him like on the floor on all fours, like hyperventilating. But also being on the phone to Deliveroo, being like, I'm not going to bring them their Wagamamas. And like, they were also really good, which was nice. Like the Deliveroo people were really helpful and were like, do you need us to call you an ambulance and all that kind of stuff. But like, he was in shock. I was kind of in shock, like obviously not in the same way, but didn't expect to see that. And then I kind of felt like weirdly bad about it, even though it was obviously nothing to do with me. It was just, you know how your brain can be like, I don't know, like my brain likes to try and make things my fault, which obviously isn't fair. So I don't even know. It was just awful. It was just terrible. And so then you know, we've got to like find an emergency dentist for him to get his tooth fixed because it's like gone. And I was just like, Jesus Christ. So in the end, it was all okay. Like, he is back in one piece and he wasn't that injured. Like, he had like a wrist splint that he needed to wear for like a day and he was back. So like, it could have been so much worse, but at the same time, it sucked. And it also meant that all the stuff I wanted to do this weekend and all the plans I had completely went out the window because I was just like worrying about that. So like, it was all this like beautiful weather and a nice time, and instead it's like hospital, A&E, blah blah blah. I mean, Fred took himself to the dentist. I didn't like take him or anything, but still, you know, and he's got like a mad dentist phobia. Oh, it was just the worst. So yeah, that really sucked. And I will say, after an insanely difficult, annoying, frustrating, crappy week anyway, last week, I was like, I'm so excited to like get into content, maybe like record some YouTube videos, continue like doing up my office and all of this kind of stuff. And instead, I'm just not doing that. Instead, I'm having a bad fucking time. Just hot glue the tooth and send him on his way. Yeah, like, yeah. A&E on Friday night sucks. I mean, we were lucky because he wasn't super injured, so we didn't have to stay. He's also really lucky because Deliveroo, you get insurance. So he has dental insurance through that. So it meant that he has to pay for the tooth fixing now, but then it's gonna go back. Like, he's gonna get the money back, well, some of it. You know how insurance is. It's probably not all of it, but that's still really good. But yeah. So I'm not gonna lie. The triage was really good because they basically just went through everything with him, and they were like, "Great, did this happen? Did that happen? No, you're probably in one piece. You can come back tomorrow," which was really good because I thought, like, last time I went to A&E, it was when Sophie had Quincy, which is basically an abscess in your throat/tonsils. And it was a fucking state. It sucked. Basically, when it came to that, she like was immediately triaged as like, oops, you might be going into sepsis. So she had to go like straight into the back and then eventually get sent off to another hospital. And we were in the hospital for basically 24 hours and we left at midnight. So you can imagine how like it was shit. So I was really glad it wasn't like that and like he wasn't actually super injured, but it was just like really, really, really stressful and fucked up. And like, yeah, it just sucked. And so it was just a really shitty weekend on top of a really shitty week. And yeah, I think that's what's been getting to me. I think if I can get back into the rhythm of like content creation and streaming when I need to stream and stuff like that, then I can eventually get into a place where I'm like more able to like feel good about the content I'm making, because right now I just always feel like I'm disappointing everybody, and I hate that feeling. It sucks, and it just, you know what I mean? It's one of those things where it's like you're always chasing your tail, everyone's upset with you, nobody likes what you're doing, everyone's got complaints, and it's like, fuck, I don't know, I hate it. Oh, I'm about to die. I don't want to die. Yeah, so I don't know. It just sucked. And like, also there's so much more important stuff happening in the world right now. So then I'm like, none of this shit even matters. Get the hell over it, you know? But the way that you feel in real life does still matter, even if it's not the most important thing in the world, if that makes sense. Content schmontent. This is what I'm saying, is that like, I don't know, I think there were just aspects of like the message that I was sent that was sort of saying, your content is bad, you should feel bad. And I you know, when you're somebody who I guess tends towards negative self-talk anyway, it's like, haha, your brain is correct. You know, it's like anyone who has like negative self-talk knows that your brain is always looking for like reasons to be down on yourself, and like one of the most powerful things you can do is just be like, no bitch, that's no, like no, you're doing your best. But yeah, so Fred is doing something new. I don't know how much he's talked about like why or whatever, but Fred has started doing this thing called Deliver the Food, DTF, which is him doing Deliveroo and Uber Eats deliveries all around London and probably other cities eventually, and riding around and showing you guys around, and yeah, so like that's what he's been doing, and it's been really cool and fun, and I really enjoy it. Like, it was sort of semi my idea, and we can't decide who came up with the original. Oh wait, can I go through here? Oh shit. Oh no, I'm stuck. Oh. We don't know who came up with the original idea. But yeah, he's still got the Deliver the Fred channel right now. Deliver the Fred? He's still got the Dead Fred channel right now, which is the old Fremily channel. But I don't think that he's been really enjoying game streaming, so I think is moving towards like Deliver the Food / Deliver the Fred, which I think is cool because it's something that he's like really enthusiastic for. And I think as well, I love it. I think it's such a vibe. I think it's really good for him. I think it's really fun, except for when he fucking falls off his bike, knocks all his teeth out, and stresses me the fuck out. But that was not intentional. It was just bad times. But yeah, slippery when wet. Yeah, so it's one of those things where it's like, yeah, we're like, so he's trying to move more in that direction, which I think is awesome. And that's the thing, is I think I love that idea for him, and I think it suits him so well. And then I am now like, shit, what do I want to do? What do people want to see from me? What do I like doing? I love games. I fucking love games, and I don't really want to give up gaming content, but at the same time, I don't know what games I should be like playing, and I always feel like I'm playing catch up. I don't know, it's just difficult. And then like, I think just all the negativity that I got, all of the like mean things just made me feel really bad, and rather than being like productive, it just made me feel like I should hide away. But like, when you're trying to do a whole new rebrand thing on a new channel, that's the opposite of what you should be doing. You shouldn't be hiding away, you should be making more content. Do you know what I mean? He delivers his large tool to fix the pipes. Disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. But yeah, so I don't fucking know. I don't know. So I'm trying to be like, okay, you don't need to know everything immediately. I'm also like a very like solutions focused person. So I like to be like, right, I know exactly what I'm doing. And like right now I don't know what I'm doing. And I don't know like exactly the kind of content I want to make and what I should be focusing on and like blah, blah, blah. But at the same time, there's only so many hours in the day. And then at the same time, I'm also being like, find myself like pulling away from new things because I'm like worried people won't like them. And I'm like, that's not the reason you should do stuff. Like, I've always been really critical of people who are like chasing what other people like rather than doing what they like. Because like, if you like something, people will like it as well and they will follow you. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't remember what goes with what. Shit. This is problematic. But yeah, so that's kind of partly it, is that you're like, I don't know what you need to do is focus on like what is actually good for you. Do you know what I mean? Like, I know I'll definitely get there. I know that whatever there is, I will get. I think it's spinach, maybe. But I might be wrong. I might have been the axe. But yeah, I know that like whatever I want to do will be the right decision for me. Rather than being like, hey guys, like, I always think it's kind of a bad sign when you're constantly, like, polling your audience to be like, should I make a video about this or this? Should I do this or this? Should I, you know? But that being said, it's really difficult when you're worried that you've got an original audience that do like what you do, and you want to make them happy, but you don't know how. Do you know what I mean? So, I'm like, stop worrying about it. Just do stuff. The funny thing in this era of content creation is everything is so disposable that, like, you can just do stuff one day and just see how it goes, you know? Things are not, like, as much as they used to be. Like, yeah. And, like, at the end of the day, no one wants to sit around and watch somebody not make content because they're worried they're making the wrong content. Like, it's better to just do stuff. And, like, do stuff that you enjoy and that you're proud of. And this is true in every aspect of life. Like, it is so much better just to do the right thing for you. And, like, it will find its audience. Or it will find, like, I don't know. It's just, like, this kind of job is so fun. And it can be so freeing. And you can do whatever you want. But then all of the options almost make it worse. And then the algorithm is like, hey, you should only do this one thing that people like and never do anything else. And, like, you have to be brave and be like, no, bitch, I'm gonna do what I want. And, like, that's how you actually find, like, an audience who, like, want to hang around and like you and like your content. Because who the fuck wants to sit around and watch somebody be, like, insecure, which is exactly what I'm doing right now. But still, you know, it's fine. You're allowed to be insecure once a month. You're allowed to, maybe once every 3 months, you're allowed to be insecure. Then you've got to get over it. But yeah, it's been difficult as well, because it's like, you want to be, like, open about stuff, but then you also don't want to, like, talk too much shit or, like, overshare, because then, like, it's just weird. I don't know. It's so weird. It's so weird. It's just difficult, man. You always want to share, like, good stuff, but then when there's not that much good stuff to share, you're like, well, what do I share? Ah, you know? Think. Good. Lovely. Give me that. Hello? Oh, there we go. That being said, what are we thinking of talking and playing a little game in the corner for distraction? Are we vibing with that, or are we anti that? Because I like it. I only watch variety streamers that don't do the same thing. Yeah, day 575. No, but that's the thing, is like Twitch as a platform and everything else wants that. Like, do the same damn thing every single day. The issue is that for a point that will grow your audience, and then after a while, you will know everyone who's interested in that. And then starts the drama. And that's the other thing, is I think I'm feeling very alienated from Twitch. One, because, like, I know people are talking about me, and that doesn't feel good. And, like, people have opinions, and people, like, I've never really been in that position where I felt like everyone's just, not everyone, like, I'm not that self-centered, but, like, people are just talking about me, not about the content or whatever, just, like, saying stuff about me. And, like, everyone has opinions and da-da-da-da, and you can't control that. And then at the same time, I feel, like, weird because, like, I'm on this new channel that isn't the channel I've been on for 100 years. And isn't, like, my channel, but, like, it is. So I need to, like, treat it like it is, not treat it like it's, like, the fucking redheaded stepchild. You know what I mean? Like, there's just a lot of, like, complicated feelings. And I think it's just a complicated aspect of your work and your relationship all being kind of tangled up together. Just please be a chicken. Oh, well, still good. And there's nothing you can do about that, you know? Would I rather undo the last 10 or 11 years? No. I had a great time, you know? Even when things weren't perfect, I was having a good time. So I don't want to undo it, but it just means that now I have to live with it. Ugh. Ooh. You are right as well. No, you are right, Lordy. And also, like, people are gonna have opinions. It's something that I said to Fred a lot, was like, people are going to have opinions about the stuff that happened because people do. That's just a fact of life, right? And, like, a lot of people have had experiences of breakups or whatever, or, you know, like, the amount of people who say to me, like, when I'm like, oh yeah, I do streaming and Twitch and da-da-da-da, they're like, I always dreamed of doing that. So, like, then some people are like, you should never let it go. Having a channel like Family would be my dream. And it's like, you're putting too much shit out there. But, like, it also means that, like, I get invited to, like, I'm still occasionally being invited to, like, streamer events. I just don't want to go. But then I'm like, now I'm just pulling myself away from a community that like I've been around for a long time. But I just feel like there's like, so the UK scene is like pretty small and everyone's just like talking about each other all the time. And like, and it's something I noticed like during the Twitch London times, was there are so many people who would rather complain than actually create. And like, don't get me wrong, complaining is fine. Sometimes you're going to complain about stuff. But a lot of the time there are people who are like, I wouldn't do it like this. I wouldn't do it like that. And I'm like, well, you don't know what it's like. You're not me. So you've got to do your own thing, you know? And so like, I don't know, it's just gonna be weird and awkward. And then I'm like, well, shit is weird and awkward. You know what I mean? Having a breakup's weird and awkward. So you just got to deal with it. But yeah, I just think that like with all this change just comes a lot of discomfort. And like, I tried really hard not to make any of this like the stream's problem. But now I'm like, if I don't talk about it, then people just make up stories about me anyway. So I'm like, well, I may as well be more open, because if people are going to say shit about me, I may as well be like, yeah, this is the reality. Ooh, yes, double evolve. Yeah, I don't fucking know. I just don't know. I think that's where I'm at right now. If I were to get a tarot reading, it would probably be like, bitch, you don't know what the fuck you're doing. And I'd be like, I know, it sucks. But like, I will know. I have to have confidence in myself that like, I'll work it out. I always do. Just sometimes it sucks and shit's really difficult. Yeah, blast. And that's where I'm at right now. This shit sucks and it's really difficult. And it's like practically like a year post, and I really thought shit wouldn't still suck. But it does. And that's just the facts of it, you know? Sometimes you're like, this will get better quickly. Evidently, nay. But it will get better in time. And yeah, I don't know. I don't know. It's just, Jesus, what the hell's going on up there? Oh. Bow, 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 bow. Noise. But yeah, so I don't know. I honestly really wanted to like hide away from the stream today and be like, I'm just gonna make really good plans for the next stream. And I was like, no, that's an excuse. Sometimes it's fine, right? Sometimes, and I've done it so many times in the past, I will stream way too much, make no time to do anything else, and then have to go and have like the emergency day where you do everything in your life. That's totally fair. That being said, that would not have been what I was doing today. What I would be doing today is like just avoiding stuff that makes me uncomfortable, you know? And I'm really glad I didn't, because I've had a real good time chilling with you guys, and like this feels really good, and it's nice to like get everything out there and like start afresh. And I was so anxious before I started, and I was like, that's not how I usually feel before a stream. Like on a bad day before a stream, I feel like, okay, fine, let's go do this. And on a good day, which is a lot of the time, I feel excited, you know? And I want to feel that. And I want to be like, I just feel like, even when it comes to like going to a music festival that I love doing, I'm like worried about it, you know? And it's like, well, don't worry, enjoy yourself. You should be happy, you know? But it's like, you know? I think honestly right now probably feels like what it feels like after you get a tattoo, where like you're like, I've wanted this, I'm pleased with the choices I've made, and then for a minute you're like, oh god, do I like this? And you're like, yep, you know, had adulting plans today and slept too late and said, oh well, yeah, that's totally fair. I did that on Saturday after Toothmageddon and midnight to fucking 2 a.m. hospital trip and all of that shit. I genuinely spent Saturday like, that was really stressful. And then Sunday, I was like, I'm going to be so productive. And I was not that productive. And then today, this morning, I was like, I'm going to be so productive. I was not very productive. And I think part of it was that I was like, oh, if I can make an excuse not to stream, if I can be like, oh, well, I can't stream because I have to do this other stuff, then it's a way for me to be like, it wasn't because I was scared to stream. It wasn't because I was worried that like everybody hates me or nobody's going to show up or whatever. It was actually because I was making good decisions, and it's like, no. But sometimes you need to lie on your face. I love days where I plan to be productive and end up doing sweet FA. They are mixed. There's a mixture of, like, sometimes just being like, yeah, babe, today we are chilling. We're doing, you know what? It's not worked out in that way, and we're just going to vibe. But sometimes you're like, I'm the worst. I'm the laziest bastard. Even though, like, usually I'm not being lazy. I'm just doing a thing I didn't mean to do. But yeah, Saturday was lying on the sofa. Honestly, I don't even know what I watched. I think I just watched YouTube videos and then I was like, the sun went down. Which is good, but also sometimes not. Ooh. Yes. This fucking Medusa is chasing me down. She is coming for my ass. Jesus. But yeah, so that's kind of where I'm at in my brain and life and things, and I think I'm just like, you know what, air it out, get it done, and then move on, you know? Excuses are easily made when you're feeling shitty, yeah. And that's the thing, is like, on one hand, I know I'm somebody who tends to push myself too much. So you need to recognize when your body is like, hey girl, chill. It's like one of the things I've talked about so much in therapy, or like we've been working on, is like listening to my body when my body is like, hey girl, I can't do any more right now. Because like, then I'll get burnt out. And that's not good. And I've done that enough times to know it does not work for me. It's a bad thing to do. And like, burnout for me lasts months. But at the same time, when you're scared to do stuff, you're like, I'm just gonna lay on my face and avoid my problems. And that is also not it. You know? That is also not good, because laying on your face to avoid your problems just leaves you with a pillow dent in your face and the same number of problems. Yeah, and also a lot of it is just negative self-talk, rather than being like, fuck people who say mean things about me. I know I'm nice. I know I'm trying my best. Instead, it's like, maybe they're right and I suck. And it's like, that's not... You can't just think about, like, you can't think like that about yourself, especially when you're like, I don't feel bad about stuff I've been doing. I feel like I've been making good decisions for me, you know? And like, the issue as well with like social media and content creation is that the most important thing is metrics. Nothing else matters. I died. Oh God. Hang on, I just got a text from my landlady. Find out if I'm on the streets. Oh, lol. Oh, that's fine. I'm not on the streets. Woohoo! Love not being on the streets. Yeah, you know when you like never hear from your landlord and then you're like, leave me alone. I love being here. This is the thing, is find 500 floor chickens. Oh. Great. I got achievements from doing that. I love being here. I actually love streaming. I do. And it's the thing that like sucks, is that starting the stream feels like death. It's all coming to get you. Everybody hates you. You should never feel good about yourself ever again. And then you start the stream and you're like, this is really nice. I'm having a good time. People are friendly. You know? Yeah, when you get a notification from a family member out of the blue and it's like, okay, who died? Literally. Oh my God. It was so funny. And like, the thing is as well, my building is really dramatic. Maybe all big buildings are like this. I don't know. But my building lives for the drama. They love it. So like, for a while, when Fred was first getting all the Deliveroo stuff set up and like, he wasn't streaming it yet, he would sometimes come to my flat to like use the bathroom, refill his water bottle, whatever, and then go back out. Or like he would occasionally drop by at the end of a shift to like pick up a parcel. And what he was doing was he would like come up to my flat, lean the bike against the wall, go use the loo or whatever, then leave. And then suddenly I got a suddenly I got a message being like, someone is storing an illegal bicycle permanently in the building. And I was like, no, they're not. So then I have to explain to my landlord, no, somebody was occasionally coming to pee. That is not what was happening. Chill. Right? So, like, sometimes when you get a picture, it's someone being like, you have put your bin bag in the wrong area and you will be shot in 1 hour. But, like, my building is so dramatic. And they were like, this is a huge safety issue. And I was like, okay, chill. Like, cool. I'll just leave your bike downstairs. And it was, like, not that often. But, like, people get weird about stuff. Oh, yeah. Like, so it's like you live with an HOA? Yeah. Like, actually. And, like, to be honest, what they could do about it is pretty limited. Like, could they... Ooh, nice. Like, could they do much about it legally? No. But, like, it's also fine to be like, don't keep that there. I'd be like, yeah, good point. But they were like, it's permanent, it's moved in, the whole building's falling to shit. And I'm like, it's cool. So anyway, I just thought I was going to get a text being like, angry about... Like, I posted a picture on Instagram of all the plants I'm growing on my balcony. And, like, I thought they were going to be like, your plants are overgrowing the edge of your balcony and you're about to be sued. And I'm like, heaven forbid a bitch is trying to keep a bee alive. You know? I don't even know what that means. I'm just going to say yes. Hi, Lemons. Thank you. That's so kind of you. I put on the quickest, dirtiest makeup job because I was trying not to psych myself out not to stream. Oh no, you tried a monster for the first time? Oh no, they got you. Ooh, I don't know which one to pick. Yeah, we're trying a new thing, Lemons, and I am appreciative of hearing your opinions and the group and the community in general, where basically I just chat and then also just have a game on in the background to give people something else to watch while we chat. So I'm not like talking about the game, I'm just talking about regular life stuff and also playing. But yeah, I don't really drink Monster or energy drinks. I'm a coffee girl. So like, what's the best one? Peach sugar-free Monster, you're welcome. Okay, I'm down. Rolo's in. Rolo has given us the information. Yeah, I feel like there's nowhere like Twitch chat that is going to give you this kind of data. I don't know what to pick. Mango Loco is good. Ultra Roba? Rhombus? Ooh, Bibble. Yeah, but like, I haven't really had like Monster, you know, the white Monster, the one that everyone's like formed a cult about. That's basically the only one I've ever had. I don't even know what's in this place. Alright, we're gonna go down one end and then we're gonna go down the other. What about your neighbors with allergies? Literally, I'm just like, I don't know. I'm trying my best. Yeah, probably. But people do get really weird. There was also one of the funnier dramas, and like there's been a lot. There's like a conspiracy going around my building that people are like deliberately breaking in to fuck with the building. So like the garage door broke and like was stuck halfway, and people were like, look at the CCTV, I bet you people have been like broken in to deliberately break our thing. I'm like, who would do that? Who would care? Obviously that isn't what happened. And like occasionally people will come into our building when the doors open and they'll steal packages. And so then people are like, this is like a concerted effort by like the mob to steal my pair of Reeboks. And I'm like, no. And then half the time the Reeboks were not even stolen, just somebody in another building or in another flat, like you're number 12 and they're number 21 and they picked it up by accident, and then they're like, oh hey, sorry, this got delivered to the wrong place. And then people are like, a likely story, you know? And it's like, don't always ascribe malice to everything. So like that's been going down. But the biggest recent drama was that, so somebody has a little garden and they grow sage. And so sometimes they'll put a bunch of sage leaves on the table and be like, oh, if anyone wants them for cooking, they can take them. Well then, apparently they put a bunch of sage in a vase on the table. Now, this sage was not to be consumed. It was for decoration purposes only. And somebody took the sage and the vase and they posted in the group being like, return the sage. That was decorative sage, not for eating. And I was like, guys, you gotta start labeling your shit, alright? If it's usually free, and now it isn't, you should probably tell people, okay? Because how the hell is anyone supposed to know? I mean, admittedly, it was in a vase. I get that. But, like, maybe the cultural context of the vase was not clear to everybody. So, Sophie for Spagbog. What's this about Spagbog? Oh, my. If somebody would feed me pasta right now, I'd be fucking thrilled. I would be thrilled. Oh, no, I'm about to get shanked. I'm about to get shanked. Big style. Shabba. Chicken, please. God damn it. Yeah. So, get that pasta talk outfit. Look, I don't know what you want from me, Sheldon. I don't understand what you want from me. I'm a Southern Italian woman. I love pasta. I want to eat pasta all the time. It is delicious. I don't get it. It's like not liking bread. It's like, can you possibly get a life? You know, what do you mean you don't like bread? Like, and don't come at me about gluten. That's not what I'm talking about, all right? It's like, how are you not... Honestly, who's not liking carbohydrates? Rice? Amazing. So good. I had sushi yesterday. It was fucking delicious. Rice? Slaps. Pasta? Stunning. Bread? Transcendent. What are the other carbs? I mean, even a potato. Noodles? That's just pasta with different types of sauce, but I don't care. Oh no, I think I've scared my auntie. I just got a message being like, hey chick, and I'm like, oh god, she probably saw my Instagram story being like, hospital. Ugh. I've been craving pasta from my local Italian restaurant. You put the evil on me. Yes! Go get it, immediately. Immediately. Opinions on this. Is this an abomination? Little salt, a ready meal with pasta and meatballs that you cook in the oven. That sounds good. Look, here's the situation. Pasta and meatballs isn't even Italian, it's American, okay? Italians have pasta and they have meatballs, but they do not have pasta and meatballs. They don't go in the same thing together, okay? I never once ate pasta and meatballs until I was an adult, all right? And it's good. Also, oven-baked pasta, pasta al forno, bangs. God, I'm hungry. Everybody subscribe and I'll go next door to the Italian restaurant and get pasta rather than cooking a affordable, healthy dinner. Subscribe and enable me. I'm about to get my ass eaten and not in the way that you'd hope. That was a joke. I fucking love penne arrabbiata. Penne arrabbiata is literally my queen. Right, well that was rubbish. Let's try that again. Hydrate. I had 3 drinks to start and I've drunk them all. Wait, you linking your Italian restaurant menu? I'll click on it. Hang on. Caprese. Sorry, I became hysterical. Manicotti. Fuck, I love manicotti. Homemade ravioli. Beef and pork. Bacon and fresh basil. Parmigiana. Shit. No. So here's the situation with the whole Italian language thing. So I grew up, actually I can put that back. I grew up in a household with a dad who is fluent in Italian and a mum who is not. And a dad who is kind of traumatized by the Italians. So he did not really want to speak Italian. But when I was around my Italian family, obviously they did speak Italian. So I got into a situation where I could understand a lot more than I could speak. Then I grew up and realized that what my family was speaking was not actually Italian. They were speaking Neapolitan, which is like a regional dialect from around the Naples area, which is where my family are from. So my dad didn't want to teach me because when he was around Italians, they used to make fun of him because he sounded like a fucking farmer, like an old man from the countryside. And I think he wanted me to be like as English as possible. But I could understand a lot more than I could speak. So then over the years, when family come over, they just speak in English. And that makes me sad because then when I go there, they have to speak to me in English. That makes me sad. So I want to learn, and I would really, because I'm also dyslexic, so I'm not. My dad was kind of traumatized by the fact that when he was a little kid, he only spoke Italian at home. So one day he went to school for the first time. Everyone was speaking English, which he did not understand. And it took him a long time to learn, and he always felt really stupid. Which obviously he wasn't. He was 5 and just spoke English as a second language. But yeah, so he didn't want the same thing to happen to me or for me to be confused or like embarrass myself. So he didn't want to teach me. There's a lot of like immigrant stuff in there, you know? So basically, don't blow me up, babe. I would really like to learn, and I've been doing all the stupid apps and fucking Duolingo and shit, which I don't really have anything good to say about, but I don't have the budget right now to like, I would really like to get a tutor and then do some like immersive language stuff, because it would be really cool to visit family and not be reliant on them speaking English to me. Yeah, and like, don't get me wrong, I don't think it took my dad... I think the issue was that my dad went to school in the 70s. He was like the token foreign child, or like the 60s. He was the token foreign child, and so he stood out like a sore thumb. He's also dyslexic, which I am also dyslexic. So I think that difficulty with language in the first place made learning more languages harder. Do you know what I mean? So it like stacked up. I would love to segue into a sponsorship like that. I need to get more viewers. I need to do more streams and get more viewers, because I haven't had a sponsorship on this channel yet. And I should get one. Oh, I can't stretch. I'm gonna have to do a one-sided stretch. Oh, my entire spine's realigned, because otherwise I'm gonna get murdered. I'm gonna stretch the other side. Yeah. Oh my god. But yeah, so basically he had a lot of like shit going on. He didn't teach me. All my family were insane. One day when everyone's dead, I'm like, assuming I outlived these bitches, because I'm gonna tell you right now, if there's one thing Southern Italians do, it's never fucking die. They stay alive out of stubbornness. I don't know what. 4 feet of just malice and rage. But like, there are so many good stories, but like, these people are still alive, and I'm not trying to. I mean, admittedly, they all deserve to have shit talked about them. Great, I'm about to die again. They all deserve it, but that doesn't mean that I should, you know? So when everyone's dead, I can start telling you guys all the... Oh, I just walked into them. I can start telling you guys the actual drama. Because it's crazy. Yeah, if I ever get, like, famous, I don't want to, particularly, but if I ever did, and somebody paid me or wanted me to do like a biography or like an autobiography, you guys would be eating. That's all I'm saying. But yeah, I would really like to learn. I know more than I did from using these apps and shit, but I would like to do it, like, take it more seriously. Because there's nothing worse than feeling like you've practiced quite a lot and then actually going to use it and being like, I'm too scared to speak. And can you imagine me being too scared to speak? That does not seem likely. Told me that if I wrote a book about my life, she would buy it. I'm not gonna lie. I think you should do it. Give me those near-death experiences. Give me the drama. But yeah, like, a lot of my stories are like things that have happened to me via lunatics in my family. And so like, I have to, you know, wait for... not to be. They got way more money than me too. I got no money. I'm gonna get sued out my ass. You know how libel laws are in the UK. Or if you don't, they're crazy. I might have to move countries. And you know they're litigious. As my grandma has said, or my nonna has said to me a bunch of times, the solicitor is crook. That's how she says solicitor. It's great. I'm obsessed with the solicitor. He is... she won't change her solicitor, but he's a crook. Oh my god, maybe we should write like a dueling perspective. You know, like one chapter's me, one chapter's you. Yeah, it's extremely funny. I think she has a speech impediment because her accent is not like anyone else's accent I've ever heard. Like, even the other family members don't sound like her, but she has so many things that she just says in like hilarious ways. Let's do it. Yes. When life gives you lemons, fuck them. Yeah, no. So like, yeah, she has a lot of like crazy stuff she says though. Like, my name is Emily and Sophie is Sophie and Fred was Freddy, which was great. Who's this man? Hello, sir. Buy something from the merchants. Oh, these are all locked. Ooh, I bought it. Oh. 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 Okay. We'll see if this works. Yeah, and like salt and pepper is salt and pepper. And who else we got? What else we got going on? I'm about to get fucked up. About to get fucked up big style. Ah, I got fucked up. Please don't fuck my lemons. I'll do as I choose, alright? I'm the queen of the lemons. I am the lemon royalty. Can't win this. Inappropriate to say the least. What's happening with lemons? Don't ask. Don't ask. Things got crass, but we stopped. We stopped being crass. How are you doing? How's everything going, Chocolate Kieran? I feel like I haven't seen like... I haven't really been on Twitter, and that's how I felt like I was getting everybody's updates. You know what I mean? Shanked him. Yes. Okay, we're gonna go this way. We've been going the other way, and it's just been leading to disaster. Oh my god, please. There are too many of you. But yeah, how's YouTube been going? Well, I hope. What's this about Glasgow? I should go to Glasgow. I need to get in touch with my Scottish side. You know, the Italian side makes itself known, but you know, I've got the Scot in me too. Lightning or Bible? I don't know. Roast my town? Oh my god! You want me to roast Glasgow? Shit! I haven't done this in ages. I forgot about it. Hang on. Hold your bobs. Okay, let's do this. Same as always, thanks for asking. Trying to expand a bit. Ooh, nice. Yeah, I've been trying to do the same. It always psychs you out. Okay, here we are in bonny Scotland. All right, let's go and look around Glasgow and see what the vibe is. We're here to roast Glasgow. Oh, Glasgow. This is not the start I was hoping for. Oh, fuck off. Take me back. I'll never find that again. I'll never find the pile of fucking... Oh my god, Glasgow. I was going to say I'll never find the pile of mattresses again. What kind of mattress showroom has a pile of mattresses outside it? That's insane. But then I've just plopped off somewhere new. And this looks like shite. Yachts. Yachts? What is this? Shop. Duncan Yacht Chandlers? Yachts for sale? This feels fictitious as hell. So this was a shop that sold fireplaces. This is the MP. Next to the yacht shop. This feels like a fake road. Like, I feel like I've maybe dropped into one of those little bits of towns that they build to run, like, army things on. He's the leader of Labour in Scotland. And this is his... This is his... where you go for his surgery. That's crazy. I mean, at least he's keeping it real, you know? This is very old. This is very old. Oh my God. This was last done in September 2014. Okay, I need to move until I get into this decade. 2014? Everything's outdated in Glasgow. Even Google Street View. That's crazy. Okay, 2022. We're in the future. We're in a reasonable time. Right. Well, currently it's giving less than nothing. Other than some classic Scottish names, I'm getting almost Cornwallian vibes, and that, wow, god damn. Whew. This needs to be preserved as a post-apocalyptic filming environment, because this is a dangerous building. Hey, we were in 2014 before, all right? That's a long time ago. This, honestly, I feel like it should be preserved for some sort of a Last of Us filming. Like, I have never seen a building so completely reclaimed by nature. That's a lot of growth. What was going on? Proposed mixed-use development, all inquiries? For what? Unless I'm trying to start Kew Gardens, what possible use have I got with that? Ah, and the beautiful views next to the derelict building opposite the car park. You too can buy your slice of home. Jesus. Yeah, this feels like 28 days later. 28 years later, whatever the fuck's the one that's coming out now. Whoa! Okay. It's grainy and it's depressing. And why is that? Because we just went into 2020. A year we all choose not to remember, and some of us just don't. Okay. Am I getting more or less central? Ah, based. One thing we can say for Glasgow, based. I don't know where the fuck I am. I'm going to be real with you. Am I going in? Football buses. Park and ride. School museum. Glasgow science something. So it says, girl, how the fuck are you ever supposed to find anything in Glasgow? Like, what is this? It feels like I'm in World War II. You know when they used to go around and paint over all the signs so if we got fucking boarded by Germany, they couldn't see? I could not tell you where I'm going because every sign has been so thoroughly graffitied. Every building is wide and flat and boring or derelict. Show me something, Glasgow. Get me in here. He's got his little go faster stripes, though. My God. This just feels like punching down. Cake boards. Like, why does every shop feel like a front for organized crime? Oh, finally, a shop for my cake board and silk flower needs. Obviously. Oh, and then I can go up the road and buy a yacht and a fucking fireplace. More fireplaces. I get that it's cold. I get it. This is made up as hell. Yeah, income 1.2 million a year. Okay, this looks like a road. Okay, we're getting bars. Stuff's happening. We're getting in. Okay. We've got Greg's. Good to know that they have penetrated every fucking sordid crevice of this country. Okay, so it's either Greg's or it's closed down. Gills, bit in the dust. Grand Ole Opry showing nothing. This is diabolical. That's nice. That's cute. Keep going on Seaward Street. Turn right for the Science Center. Wait, hang on. Do you want me to go down here? But this looks much more boring. I'm leaving the city center? No, let me in. Wait, should I go this way? Glasgowians. I was going to go this way. There's shops that way. The city center is behind me. I'm turning around. Not this way again. I just came from here. Okay, so hang on. This way? Down Paisley Road? Great, now I'm just getting perpetually run over by a bus. Okay, I see it. I'm moving towards this. The lump. Ah, brilliant. We've got Mecca Bingo and Nando's and Costa all in one place. Good to know that every single part of the UK is exactly the same. Great, now I'm getting run over again. Let me out. Okay. Let me guess. They're spelling Glasgow. W. I was correct. Spell something new. Wait, I think I've lost the middle. Alan Cumming. Great. Glasgow is giving... What? Why is everything chained off? It's giving crusty and dusty. It's giving dilapidated in every decade. Like, I'll accept some Victorian dilapidation, or I'll accept 1970s dilapidation, but we cannot have dilapidation in every single time. And there's nothing interesting. Where's the middle? I'm feeling very flavorless. Wait, over there. That's got to be something. Oh, look, it's a new car park. We got to get more public transport. It's too many car parks. The car park to everything else ratio is American. Go. Because you're in the shit part of Glasgow. I've been clicking like a lunatic. Barclays. Boo. Kingston. That's where I'm from. You see, tiles and mosaics. Accountants. Where do you do stuff? Am I still going in the right direction? Workwear. I like the idea of this because it very much feels like you can do like any kind of costuming. You know? You can be like, today, fighting for better workwear. Today, I'm this guy. Then tomorrow, I'm a chef. But then the next day, I'm high-vis man. I cannot get off at junction 15. I don't know where the motor... Okay, hang on. I'm going back to the map. We're going to give it a better click. Clearly, that was a bad click. So where's the edge of Glasgow? Because I went pretty middle. I didn't go to the outer skirts. All right. Art museum. You see, these buildings are disrespectful to my eyes. What the hell is going on? Is that... I mean, that's a nice view, but it's been absolutely shat upon by this dual carriageway and whatever that is. That looks like in London where they take a bunch of empty, lead-lined fucking containers. Oh, this is a hellscape too. You know, and then they tell you that it's a bespoke office space for your new startup where you sell soap via subscription exclusively to non-binary lesbians. And you're like, babe, that's not a real business. And they're like, it is if my dad gave me £10 billion to start it. This... Oh my God. We've clipped through. We've no-clipped into the back rooms. Let me out. Let me out! Right. This... I'm trapped. I'm trapped in the hole. There you go. They have decided how much I'm allowed to see of Glasgow. I've been cut off. And I'm worried I could end up going deeper. But I'm telling you right now, Glasgow, maybe she got a bad shake. Maybe, right, for the next Roast My Town, somebody will redeem Glasgow again and we can pick somewhere new. Because right now, I'm officially the troll who lives under the bridge. Consider Glasgow roasted. This is a rabbit hole we've been looking for. Well, I like... don't look up Doncaster. You can make me. I have Roast My Town as a specific thing that you can use your points to redeem. But, like, I'm very aware that I am going to alienate some people who will be, like, not understanding the concept of roasting. But, you know, it is what it is. You got to do things. You got to do them. Even if it upsets the Scottish. But I'm sure there are loads of amazing parts of Glasgow. I just did not see them on Google Street View. And also, I'm very willing to blame England. You know how it is. Now, the question is, shall I finish this run while we chat? Yeah, I'll finish this run and then I'll be done. The nice part of Glasgow is the West End. Yeah, but that's not the point, is it? That's not the point. Look, somebody might say Roast My Town and do London. And I'll just drop the pin wherever it wants to go in London. And while I know that there are plenty of parts of London that are nice, there are plenty of parts that are shit. And I'm ready to make fun of. And all I'm saying is, I think Glasgow is a front for money laundering. Because none of those businesses look real. Or possible. Like, a restaurant can't stay open, but somewhere that sells exclusively... Like, 6 shops that sell exclusively fireplaces and baskets can. Like... Woohoo! Not my town, but you should roast Jaywick. It's eye-opening. Look, it's a redemption you can use your channel points for. So if you watch the channel and you want to see me roast a place, just redeem it and I'll do it. Because otherwise we'll burn it out. If I just do it every time somebody's like, this place is shit, that's no good. You know? And maybe some of them are nice. Maybe some of them I'll really have to reach. I'll have to struggle to roast. I'm about to get murdered again. Don't panic. The bus company McGill's. I've never even heard of that. Hang on. I can't stop. I'm getting murdered. Owned by gangsters? Hey, look, I'm not saying that London does not have its fair share of like businesses that are definitely just money laundering. You know, we've all been into 1,000 nail bars where they only take cash because the card machine never works. We've all been into one of those sweet shops that charges you £15 for a pack of Lucky Charms, as though it's difficult to ship things overseas now. And, you know, the scams are plentiful. That being said, I usually think that they try a bit harder. I did see stories, though, of people going to New York and going into Italian, like, pizza restaurants and ordering pizza and people being like, no, we're not going to serve you pizza. And it's like, oh, it's a mob front. Oh, you don't serve food. You'll just sit around and plan organized crime. And this person was, like, unstreetwise enough just to stroll in without noticing. Fluffy pillows and a good night's sleep. Says that is fantastic. I love that. I got murdered. Well, I may be about to do the same thing. Because I have many things that I must do. And it has been frankly a delight to catch up. I will be back on Wednesday where we will discuss everything. Rinse the state of the world. And also play actually a new game. I got emailed about a game which is genuinely called what was it, recycling simulator or something? And I don't know. There's only one other game I want to play more than that, and it's, what's that game that just came out and is an absolute fucking disaster and everybody hates it? Mind's Eye? Is that what it's called? Oh my god. That game cracked me up. I love a broken game. I'm obsessed. But I probably shouldn't, given that it's probably not even fun. Bad, it's just boring bad. Whereas Gollum was fun bad. And sometimes I still miss Gollum. It was a good time. Right. Let me pick us a song. That kicked in real fast. Thank you so much, everyone, for hanging out with me today. We are getting back in our rhythm of content creation. If you guys have games you'd like to see me play, let me know. If you got things you want to see me talk about, also let me know. I'm not making any promises, but I will try my best. Follow me on all the platforms that you haven't. New content is coming, and also the Glastonbury video will be iconic. But yeah, see you all on Wednesday. Follow if you're new. Toodle pip.